I'm going to call this video Frictional Unemployment, and a lot of you out there might not know what that means. Frictional unemployment is when there is a uncertainty in the market that causes a rapid decrease in employees. This could be new machinery. This could be an influx of sudden workers of that particular, branch of that particular marketplace. Those types of things can cause uh, you know, frictional unemployment. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because Donald Trump recently made a statement that we need to bar, Muslims from the country temporarily. And I'm not saying the word ban. I I refuse to use that word on the grounds of that is the common word of terrorists. And I don't believe Muslims nor Donald Trump are terrorists. Only moderators are terrorists. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that he wants to regulate, bringing Muslims into the country, especially refugees, because he thinks that will help deter terrorism. I sincerely doubt that, but that's not the reason why I disagree with the issue. The reason why I disagree with it, and while I understand people are mad, they think that this is racism, let's look at this from an economic standpoint. I mean, after all, he's the Trump. He should know this. Um, Bringing in refugees would actually have the opposite effect. It would have the opposite effect of frictional unemployment. And you could call that whatever you want to, but the fact of the matter is, if you brought in all the refugees, I'm not talking some, I'm talking all the refugees, bring in hundreds of thousands of them, what you would have is, well, you would temporarily have unemployment because with this new influx of people, some might get fired to hire refugees, some might not. Typically, you're going to have people on welfare. That's a given. These refugees are going to come in and they're going to be on welfare. And of course, that's going to get people all, get their jimmies rustled. But hear me out. There's nothing wrong with being on welfare, and it would help the economy if they were on welfare. Now, you're probably thinking, how the hell is hundreds of thousands of people on welfare going to help the economy? Well, I'll tell you how. When you have them on welfare, then they're amongst the citizenry. They're amongst the rest of society. They are mingling. They are bringing in their culture. They are bringing in their families. Things like that. For the first, I'd say 5 to 10 years, people are going to be fucking racist to them. And it's terrible. That shouldn't happen. But because that happens, there's going to be an influx of, security measures. And these security measures are going to take manpower because no machine is going to be able to be racist. Only people can be racist. So, since you can't make metal detectors that only go off on brown people, you're going to have TSA agents and things like that checking them. Whether they're going to the airport, whether they're going to, Walmart, whatever. And the reason why this would increase employment is because they're gonna need TSA agents, and they're not gonna hire the Syrian refugees. They're gonna hire your average white bastard. Now, this is actually gonna help unemployment, and it would be cheaper than if you would just never let the Syrian refugees in to begin with, and you have a bunch of homeless people, you have a bunch of unemployed people. Yes, temporarily it's gonna cost you, but the slivers that you pay for food stamps and things like that for the Syrian refugees pales in comparison to the net gain you will get if you're willing to wait a little while. If you're a little patient and you can wait out the 5 to 10 years, you're going to see rapid increase in employment. You're going to see a rapid increase in wages because they're going to want that security there because of those Syrian refugees. And I admit their lives are going to be miserable, but their lives were already miserable. They're used to misery. And I think they'd rather deal with, the backhanded racism of America over, ISIS. And I don't believe for one second any of those Syrian refugees are ISIS. I don't believe for one second that they are even sympathizers to ISIS. What I believe is that they do have terrible lives and that, they're trying to escape the poverty and the oppression, and they'll probably only escape one of those things because everywhere you go in the world, there's poverty and oppression. To some places greater extents, sometimes more than others in one of the categories, but all in all, there is everywhere oppression and poverty. Now, the thing about it is, if you let in the refugees, you will have less poverty, but you'll probably increase the oppression, at least towards certain classes of people. If you don't let in the refugees, there's no guarantee you're going to have less oppression. You're just going to have more poverty. The only way you would have less oppression is if somehow you encourage that racism and you have all this Islamophobia, but white people can do whatever they want to. And for the most part, that exists already, but only for rich white people. Only for Mark Zuckerberg, who can commit a felony when creating Facebook, but nothing's done about it. Or at hell, to this day, he's committing felonies with Facebook, and nothing's done about it. All these moderators that use their Kickstarter monies to go to the Philippines and have sex with underage prostitutes, nothing's done about it. So, yeah, for them, freedom is great. America's great. America represents the epitome of, absolute freedom. But for the rest of us, fuck us. And on top of that, they oppress us because they are banning us and they are, telling us what's what and their terms of service and things like that, which isn't even legal. But again, since the law never comes down on them, law only comes down on, you, me, or Tyrone, suddenly, So Syrian refugees would help the United States. They should not only let in the refugees, they should let in everybody. They should get rid of borders completely. And like I said, for the first 5 to 10 years, yeah, it's gonna suck for them. It's gonna suck for everybody. But if you can swallow that pill, if you can grim and bear it, and you've grim and bared worse than that, it'd pay off. And that's coming from a real economist.